Most people think you need lots of money to win big on Football Manager. But what if I showed you today how you could do the exact same with 10 million compared to 100 million? Well, in this video, we're going to put that theory to the test. Rebuilding a squad over one season, one with a tight £10 million budget using smart scouting and hidden gems, and another with a full £100 million to splash on big names. We are of course going to use the same club, the same tactics, and go for the same challenge. And by the end, I'm going to show you exactly why you don't need big money to win on FM24. Now for this scouting challenge, we are using Brentford. They are quite literally the perfect club for something like this, as they're a club which use smart signings in real life, but they probably could go on to become a big money spender. And the reason I'm actually choosing Brentford is because in a simulation that I've done, Brentford are 17th, just finished there. I have just taken over. They are the worst current team in the Premier League, which have not been relegated, which means it's the perfect team to rebuild. We're going to see some serious growth, hopefully, over just one transfer window. I'm going to spend £10 million and rebuild this squad into an unbelievable team. I'm also going to do a separate save file, exact same season, spending £100 million and doing the most basic scouting on FM. Doing the scouting which, as a brand new player or someone which doesn't look too much into scouting, you'd probably do to build your team. And I'm going to show you what intense scouting can do versus easy scouting. And we're of course going to start on the heavily intense scouting, because that's the bit that you guys are going to need to take away from this video. I'm going to give you so many tips on how to really delve into the transfer market. I'm not only going to give you tips, I'm going to give you actionable things as well. I'm going to go through my 3 Wonder Kids scouting methods, and also I have set up 3 separate search filters for you guys: a Moneyball filter, a Hidden Gem Internationals filter, and a contract expiring filter, which you guys can use to go out and find some of the best players for just £10 million. Now my plan right now is I'm going to go through and do this transfer window myself, come back and show you guys exactly what I have done, the players we scouted, the players I ended up signing, and why I did it all as well. And to keep this challenge exactly fair, we are doing the exact same tactics, a very bog standard 4-2-3-1, and we are going to improve in the exact same positions: a right back, a centre back, a DM, a cam, and a striker. I'm going to be signing 5 players for a total of £10 million. Now that is a spine of a Premier League side built on literally tuppence for Premier League sides, let's be honest. Now, the base of this team is very good. We have Lafont in goal, Collins and Aaron Hickey at the back, Yannou in DM, and then Buemo and Omar Marmoush as our 2 wingers. As mentioned, this is just a save file that has been simulated 5 years in the future, and we are picking up from Brentford in this exact position. The one player thing that I'm going to say straight off the bat is that Gabriel Barbosa is a signing which is not mine. The overall signing is about £7 million, so we're not going to take that into account with our actual transfer business, because that's not something that I really had any control on. So ignore Gabriel Barbosa. He's going to be a backup striker anyway. I'm going to go and sign my own striker to do exactly the job we need him to do. Now, I think first of all, we should go through my requirements for the youth recruitments. Now, I've got 3 set up because we don't have a massive staff base here at Brentford, but they are going to be set up in a very successful way. Now, we are looking to find 15 to 21-year-olds in the EU. You can see we've found a couple a bit too expensive for what we're looking for, but always good to know the better Wonder Kids in the world. There is some players in here as well which aren't really going to get signed for us, but are pretty decent. I mean, Willy Camboire progressed really well at Girona and looking to do really good bits over there. Mika Faye as well, a bit expensive, but someone like Michael Rosiak could have been a very good DM signing on a free contract at 22, and in progress as well. We are looking to find the best Wonder Kids out there. Now, the same goes for South America. I'm also doing North America at the exact same time, and then I have a smaller one, which is Africa, Asia, and Oceania, just looking to see if we can find any stars from them regions. And actually, the only Wonder Kid I signed is from these regions. Now, in terms of the actual recruitment focus, this is how we got it set up. Now, you need to make sure you have this tactics bit set to any position from tactic. You're looking for just the transfer. And for the Africa, Asia, and Oceania routes, I've done them as 1 scouting because we don't have many staff. If you have more staff, split them into a separate Africa, a separate Asia, and a separate Oceania, because you will get better results. But as we are doing a challenge of just 1 season, we're not going mentally into the staff. So I've collated them all together, and we have got a half star on current ability and 2.5 star on potential ability, 15 to 21, and then you stick them continents in these 3 areas. So choose an area, continent, you click Africa, click Asia, and click Oceania. And I've assigned 2 separate scouts there that have some decent adaptability to go and help out. And they've brought back me actually one of our best signings in this whole thing for just £200,000. But again, I'll get into that in just a minute. The South America and Europe one are the exact same, other than the fact that we have Europe or South America in these areas of continents. We are still looking for 15 to 21, but we do improve the current ability to 1.5 star and the potential ability to 3 gold stars, just to give us that better reach of players. Of course, keeping it to ongoing. Again, setting a couple of scouts out there, making sure we are scouting for every single position. And this is more of a long-term play. These scouting recruitment focuses weren't used massively as part of this challenge because we're of course on a really tight budget, but it's going and helping us find young players potentially for the future, and it's just a really clever thing to be doing. Nicolas Barge, for example, here, £5.4 million as a Spanish central attack midfielder would be a really good signing. Would have come in our budget as well, but we made an absolute piece of unreal business when it comes down to that. But we'll get onto that in just a little bit. In terms of the filters and searches I've set out for you guys, we're going to start off with my favorite one. It's the hidden gems one. Now, if you have seen my hidden gems video, I didn't actually make you a filter for this. Again, these are all available on the Patreon, linked down below. You can go and get involved down there, and it helps support me as a creator as well. You get access to all the rebuild files, all the tactics. It's £5 a month, and there's just a little added bonus on there as well. Now, this one, of course, you can just copy straight up. I've got it loaded as the Kempi hidden gem internationals. If you don't know how you get these in, you come on to manage filters down here. You import the filter from FM. Let's say I import that one. You load it, you click OK, come back down to the settings cog. You then click the one you just loaded, click no, and it will come up with your search filter. If you've never loaded filters before, it can be a bit confusing, but that is exactly how you do it. Now, in terms of the hidden gem internationals, we have done this before in a separate video looking through nations where players have got a youth appearance at a very young age. Now, how we done this time, it was again sorting by nationality and going down and finding nationalities where players at 21, if you've got a cap for Bosnia and Herzegovina, you're probably quite good. Kerem Ajbegovic, not great, but worth scouting. Was quite cheap as a winger. We scroll down, we will see Cote, Ivory Coast. I mean, this guy's got a bit early. They're both got a bit early, to be fair, PSG and Everton. But if they were from, so this guy was from Ivory Coast, absolutely smashing it over there. Picked up by PSG for just 210,000. And is incredible. If we were scouting a couple of years ago, would have found Moussa Fofana for an absolute bargain. And the same for Ayad Ayuba as well, 58 million at Everton. Costa Rica's a really good place to scout. Croatia, the same. We did find Dominik Babic, who was at AC Milan. Looks really good. Signing from Osijek in Croatia. Was doing really well over there. Has been on loan at Valencia and done bits. AC Milan's young team has done really well as well. Really good young striker. We didn't end up signing him. And pretty much just coming down to each big nation. Denmark, Czech Republic, Ecuador, Egypt, England, of course. Where else are we going to? Ghana is really good. Italy, Ireland would be good. Morocco, Tunisia, Turkey, Nigeria. Peru's a really good one for one of the kids on this game. Uruguay, of course, pretty much all of South America. Romania is top tier. Slovakia and Slovenia are really good nations as well to look into. As mentioned, Turkey, Tunisia are really good. Wales can be quite good as well. And that is for the international appearances. And you pretty much do the exact same and search for the same with youth appearances. But I turn this down to 19 years of age rather than 21, because if someone is a youth academy player for Egypt and they're 20 and they've not actually got a youth appearance yet, but they have got a international youth appearance, they're probably not going to be good enough to get to that next level. This was a guy I was really close to signing. Juan Manuel Garre from Independiente has made 14 under 20 caps for Argentina. Obviously a huge nation, a difficult team to break into, and looks really, really good. I nearly signed him. He was just a little bit too expensive. Obviously doing the challenge with a £10 million budget was very tough. This guy is even listed as a wonder kid. So we found an absolute superstar, just couldn't quite act on it. And pretty much just, again, going down all the different nations. Because we're looking at youth appearances, you want to concentrate on slightly higher nations. Think of the clubs that are going to get into the World Cup. Maybe focus more on them. The Belgiums, the Czech, the England, Brazil, Argentina, and literally Nigeria are still really good. South Africa, if you find any of them, are really, really good. concentrate on World Cup teams, and you'll be a bit better with youth appearances. If you don't want to scroll through that whole list, what you can do, sort it by world reputation, and you're going to get a lot of options here as well. Of course, you're going to get some which already moved to big clubs, like I had Juve once again showing up, but just scout through them and find the ones you want. I mean, look at this guy, Mamadou Sai, right? Value of £190,000 from Generation Foot. Obviously, I mean, to be fair, I say not quite good enough for the Premier League. He wouldn't be awful in the Premier League and isn't far off the signing we actually made for our striker position. £190,000 at Generation Foot, has started to come into his own in the last 2 seasons. Would be a really good signing just to see what he would do. You could sign him for 190k, never use him, and you'd still get more value off him. He's wanted by Juventus, Napoli and Leipzig, and we've found him using this scouting method. What I've then done is set up a shortlist of the Wonder Kid signings. This is set to search for centre-backs and DMs, and we've got them all on this shortlist. And these are players that we looked into. There was a few more which were on the shortlist which have been taken out due to value, but looking at someone like Ahmed Mejbri here from Benfica, looks pretty good. £6.8 million pound-value, a little bit too expensive for this exact challenge, but once again, showing this method is elite. Zeki Yaziki looks like a joke. Turkish, now at Brighton from Trabzonspor. £17.5 million, actually quite expensive, but 11 goals, 10 assists at 20, pretty good. Robert Savu here as a left winger isn't a position we necessarily needed, but my God, is he talented. A really good attacking winger. Aaron Espinoza was someone I nearly went for in the end. Again, very good, very young, looks great. You do, of course, come across a few players which aren't quite good enough, like a Nizar Melki. It's fine. You've spent money to scout him. It doesn't matter. You're a Premier League club. Get rid of him. Don't worry about him going forward. And continuously scout. I mean, this guy, it's continuously scout until you find players you want. This guy was really close to signing. He's wanted by Leipzig, I believe. He is still wanted by Leipzig. Mikkel Nicholson looks really good. And that is the first scouting method that I used for this challenge, the Wonder Kid scout method, which obviously is really good for the future, but also in-game, if you find the right Wonder Kid, it can be an absolute game breaker. And that's where I'm going to show you my first signing of Yves Tize from ASEC Mimosas in Ivory Coast, a signing of just £200,000, an absolute bargain, if I do say so myself. Now, his stats don't scream out incredible, but as a DM on support, his stats are very well rounded. He is just 18 years of age. His value is 200k to 325k. And I want you to remember that, because at the end of this video, when I show you Yves Tize, you're going to be absolutely gobsmacked about how this guy performed instantly in the Premier League and why you should be signing these hidden wonder kids. This guy's value is going to be outrageous. He is going to grow physically, mentally, and technically. 6 foot tall as well. Decent weight on him. Really good defensively to kick things off. I mean, 30 marking, 12 tackling as an 18-year-old. With these really high mentals off the bat, I didn't look any further. £200,000 as well. He was an absolute bargain. And I say that, there was actually one more Wonder Kid signing that we did make. I completely forgot that our striker was a Wonder Kid signing and not a Moneyball signing. It's Rumen Yankov from Ludogorets. He is a Bulgarian striker, 8 caps for the national team. So again, I found him based on the fact that he's played for the Bulgarian national team. For Ludogorets last season, 11 goals and 2 assists and a 7.32. So probably also came up in my Moneyball searches, which is why I was confused, and cost me just £2 million. This guy's got 15 finishing, 17 composure. Only thing I don't like about him, he's quite slow. 10 acceleration, 11 pace, 5'10", but extreme consistency, great technique, teamwork, flair, determination. He's a resolute player, and I'm going to use him as a striker in the Premier League. Now, if this signing gets us 10 goals in the Prem for £2 million, I'll be absolutely buzzing. We, of course, got Mbuemo and Marmouche on either wing as well, so we've got the pace there. I hope Rumen can come into the Prem and prove me right. 10 goals is what I'm aiming for him. I'd be over the moon if he gets that, because £2 million as a Premier League signing is unheard of. We're, of course, going to go into a stage in this video. We're going to spend £100 million overall and spend £30 million on the striker. We're going to see what a £2 million striker can do against that. But that was my other Wonder Kid signing. And after doing all of that scouting, we moved on to the contract expiring scouting. Now, at the time, in June rather than July, you get lots of players come up with this. World reputation as fairly good, minutes played at least 1,000, and contracts expiring in the next month. Now, of course, if I just show you a year, we are going to get a lot more players come up, but we're not really interested in that right now. This is something you want to start off in January, setting to 6 months. If players' contracts are expiring, you're going to be going for them in January until June. Of course, we only had a month to really do this method, but we did do it really well. We made one signing that was a free agent. Some of the other players on this list, Nathan Teller, was a real option for us. If I didn't sign a striker, I was potentially going to move Marmoush up to the striker position, move Teller out to the left wing, and Buemo on the right wing as a free agent contract. Would have been a really good signing. Nashi Univar was a free agent, eventually moving to West Ham. Also, incredible player, would have been great to sign. Jean-Philippe Mateta, a little bit on the older side. I was tempted for the experience, but ended up going for the wonder kid. Imran Louza, a really well-rounded DM. Diano Ballo was a player that I was very, very close to signing as well, even just as a sixth signing, but I thought I'd show you him here in the shortlist anyway. Really good player on a free. Haji Wright, Justin Che, and Luka Ivanusic ended up staying at final, but was having his contract not renewed by the end of the season. Again, searched using this exact method here. World reputation fairly good, at least 1,000 minutes played, under the age of 32, contract expiring in 6 months. So we went through the biggest players. I searched for a list of about 500 players overall until I got down to reputation, which wasn't really at the level I was looking for. Made a short list of about 25 players, whittled it down to about 10, and we ended up with a superstar signing. Hakon Arnar Haraldsson was leaving LOSC Lille. And again, I think a lot of people that play FM don't often go to the free agent market and look for what they can get. This guy cost us nothing, and for 4-5 seasons now, he has had a 7.17 and above, and for the last 3 seasons, a 7.3, 7.43, and a 7.22. He is a free agent piece of business, and his stats are absolutely incredible. He's consistent, he likes big matches, already a value of £80 million, and I know some people do use free agent markets. I do think a lot of people use the loan market before they use the free agent market. And by just scouting and being ahead of when people's contracts end up 6 months before, you can really, really utilize that free agent market and sign some superstar players. Again, that filter is going to be available to download on the Patreon, but it's a very easy one to emulate. If you literally head to scouting, search some players, set it to contract expiring 6 months, age 15 to 32, world reputation fairly good, minutes at least 1,000 this season, and just scroll through the players. There was, as I said from the shortlist, some unreal players in there. Players which would have come into the Premier League. All 3 of these, to be honest, we could have built a brand new front 4. We could have had Haraldsson in the cam role, Mateta up front, Univar on the left, Teller on the right. As a Premier League front 4, getting top half football for free. And it's something that people do not utilise enough. Instead, they go to the loan market or go and spend big money. My final one, well, it's Moneyball. Now, I'm not going to do a full breakdown of how to install Moneyball stuff and how to really do the Moneyball method entirely in this video. There is a complete video probably linked up there, hopefully, if I've remembered. If not, search the channel, 7-step guide to using Moneyball in Football Manager. It's got about 20,000 views and has helped so many people to implement it into their game. Again, I have got a complete filter, which I have created for you guys. I've amended one, which I used to use. I added a few more leagues in there, and I added a very important average rating above 7, 1,000 minutes rather than 450 as well, 19 to 28. You have to export this all into an Excel spreadsheet, which I've been using throughout this video. We have our list of strikers here, which potentially we're going to sign. And if you don't really know how it works, you pretty much, again, I've got a full video explaining it. If I was to sit here and explain it now, it'd be another 20 minutes of explaining how Moneyball works. But I capped it personally by value through here, clicking through on all the values of players, going down positions, looking at strikers, and then would look at, say, and Ola Brynildsen was someone I was looking at, going to the player profile, searching in Ola Brynildsen, and we can see his stats here. Unbelievable in percentile of goal scoring stats, 16 goals in 29 games, and was set to be really cheap at the time. When actually getting into FM, fully scouted him and looking further, his value was £16.5 million. So for this exact challenge of spending less than £10 million, we weren't able to bring him in. We were able to do a lot of Moneyball scouting, and again, setting up a separate shortlist for Moneyball. There was a lot of options. Troy Parrott was one as our striker, who was unreal at AZ Alkmaar last season, a value of £3.7 to £7 million. We don't have this capped to anything, which is good. Solomon Bonner was a right back I was interested in, really good dribbling, crossing, and physical stats, and very cheap. Simon Straudy, Sebastian Hulsner was a free agent as well, but just on a little bit on the older side. Eric Bothheim, Mateus Alberto, Bruno Bartioccio is a striker which I really like. I assigned him in multiple Moneyball rebuilds before. Value of 8.5 to 12.5 was a little bit too expensive. But one thing I will say with Moneyball always is a lot more use the spreadsheet than what FM tells you. Bruno Bartoloccio, while his stats on FM are decent, his actual stats as a percentile striker are incredible. And if you use that knowledge and a little bit of data analysis, you can go so far. I've just done a little mini series of rebuilding Reading to Champions League winners using Moneyball and using the spreadsheet, and I go through the spreadsheet in every single signing we make in that series, and you guys will see how good that series would. If you haven't seen that yet, I really do say go and watch that because it was incredible. And the way we rebuilt Reading using Moneyball was insane. We made them a £2 billion turnover club. We won the Champions League under 15 seasons. And we never spent more than £10 million on a single player and only used the Moneyball method throughout the whole rebuild. No free agents, no Wonder Kid signings, just Moneyball, and it was insane. Now, the position that we struggled with most in looking for Moneyball and Wonder Kids and everything was centre-back. We were really struggling to find one. Vuk Bogdanovic was someone potentially that I was going to go for, but was inconsistent, I believe. Ilya Agpopov, again, was okay, but a bit too expensive. Virgil, I was going to get the better Virgil. We'll make a point out of that. Didn't in the end. £1.1 million, a bit of a waste on him. And Simeon Petrov is someone that I've signed before and really good. So I wanted to go a little bit different, and that's exactly what we've done. But I don't know how good he's going to be in the Prem. The signing I made at centre-back was Pavle Vagic from Malmo. This guy's now got a value of between 6 and £6.6 million. We spent 2.8 on him. He has had back-to-back seasons and 3 out of the last 4 seasons getting over a 7 average rating. I'm not sure how he's going to do in the Prem. He looks a bit like Mr. Beast, actually, as well, doesn't he? Well, it's a bit of a, I don't know. He looks a little bit. Mental-wise, he's quite good. Defensive-wise, he's okay. And physically, he's okay. I would say he's probably more of a championship centre-back than a Premier League one, with extreme consistency, being 6'2", and being a Moneyball signing. I thought I'd give him a go. And again, you are going to be surprised by the end of this season, actually, how he performed. At right back, there was one particular signing I wanted to make in Christian Lamy from AS Monaco. He was a wonder kid between 4.1 and £6 million in value, 20 determination, 16 work rate, really good crossing, dribbling and physical stats while being consistent, and had just had a decent season at Cercle Brugge in his first professional career. But due to the value, we turned him down and instead signed Ronald Pierre Gabriel. Now again, you can hopefully appreciate the fact that we're signing a lot of different players using these Moneyball methods, and you will have a lot more fun playing FM if you don't just sign the same wonder kids time and time again. This guy cost us £3.2 million, just dropped a 7.03 average rating, and his stats are actually really good. Now, he is 30, so a little bit on the older side, but he's consistent. He likes big matches, great physical stats, great mental stats, and decent technicals. Being 30, he's a bit of a leader as well. He's good on both feet. He runs down the wing with the ball, which means as an attacking wingback, he's going to be brilliant. And I'm excited to see what Ronald can do this season. And that was it in terms of our signings. We made 5 signings in this transfer window. We spent £14.5 million, but 6.25 of it on Gary Barbosa. So to be honest, we only spent £8.25 million. Free agent Haraldson, 2.8 Vagic, 2.2 Yankov, 3.4 Ronald Pierre, and 200k on Yves Tizize. And we have completely rebuilt the spine of this Brentford side. Now, Pierre looks fantastic at right back, Vagic at centre back, Tizize, Haraldson, and Yankov. And pretty before we get into the simulation of it, let me know in the comments down below how you think the £10 million transfer budget team is going to get on in the Premier League. My predictions, just finished 17th, no European football. I would like to say top 8, and they had 35 points last season. I would like to aim for between 55 and 65. That'd be a really good year for us. Before I get into that simulation though, let me just show you the £100 million side and what I would call the basic scouting side. If I can just ask a massive favour as well, make sure you're liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Around 70% of you that watch these scouting videos are not subscribed. If you have found a lot of helpful tips from this video, make sure you subscribe, and you're going to get a lot more over the summer. And when we hit FM25, my God, we are going to make some fantastic content. So make sure you're subscribed, and of course, liking the video as well, because it helps this video get pushed out to the masses, and we can help everyone save on FM. Now, for our basic scouting methods, I went very, very basic. I was looking for the exact same positions, but very simply coming to players in range and clicking on the different positions we wanted. So centre back, right back, DM, cam, or striker. I would scroll through the list of players which are already scouted for us, or players which by transfer value are around the sort of value I was looking to spend. We ended up spending 28 million plus the 80 odd million there, so 100-ish million pounds. And rebuilt the squad in a way that I find absolutely disgusting. We spent 22 million pounds on Jarrad Branthwaite. The reason I say it's disgusting is because I play so much FM. I have about 6,000 hours on this game. I have signed Jarrad Branthwaite about 1,000 times because he is really good. He cost us 22 million pounds, as mentioned. Everton relegated, hence the reason he was so cheap, and is the perfect easy signing. English fits the bill, good, cheap, recently relegated, relegation clause. Branthwaite was in, and I used a very similar way of signing Wilfred Gnonto as well. Signed from Brighton. He's not really excelled over there. He joined them from Leeds, played 2 seasons very averagely, 23.5 million pounds, but as a young or a new FM player, Wilfred Gnonto, young, quick, good finishing, easy signing, and again, cost us 23.5 million pounds. So straight away we spent 50 million pounds. And I personally would say my Moneyball signings and my Wonderkid signings are just as good. Moving on to 2 of the smarter signings in this, we have João Lucas, signing from Brazil, from Bahia. This is what I would like to call the new FM player who thinks they know scouting, looking into things and finding some release clause, just a clause of £6 million, and seeing a really good, well-rounded DM that it doesn't really require too much money, is consistent, likes big matches, and is very, very well-rounded. This, for me, is a really fun signing. Is one from Brazil, is a player that people know of. You know, when you think of like back in the day when signing like an 18-year-old Lukaku or whatever, as João Lucas at 30 is a pretty cool player to know about and to sign. And again, it probably for me is the perfect example of like an FM signing. £6 million is an absolute bargain and a really easy player to get in. But again, I prefer looking at an 18-year-old Wonderkid from Ivory Coast and seeing if we can build our own gem. And the same really goes for the right back position. Ignacy van der Bremt is one of the most signed right backs in FM this year from RB Salzburg, £9 million. I'm sorry if you feel attacked that I have been you've signed all these players loads of times. I'm saying they're really easy, obvious signings. For me, it's just the players that come up when I searched. Ignacy van der Bremt is a really good right back. If you're signing him, fair play. He's really, really good. He's consistent, good technicals, mentals, and physical stats. £9 million. You can't really go wrong. But again, I'm just showing that for a £10 million complete budget, we've got 5 players for the same price as actually we signed Ignacy van der Bremt for. And my cam was Aymar from Atletico Pamplona. And this guy's consistent, likes big matches, 26 years of age. Looks a bit like Bruno Fernandes. Good technicals, good mentals, good physical stats. Cost us £23 million. Again, a player with a release clause and performing really well in the game. Another quite a cool player to go out there and sign. Bringing a cam from Spain to Brentford. Make him a top tier side. I think the signings we've made aren't like incredible. I've not broken the bank on all of them. We have spent just under £100 million to bring the 5 in. But Gnonto, a very FM signing. Van der Bremt, a very FM signing. Branthwaite, a very FM signing. I think Aymar's quite a popular one, and João Lucas maybe a bit more of a hidden one. But 5 signings coming into this team, which certainly make us better. I would probably be hoping for, again, I honestly don't think that much different to the 55 to 65 points, 8th place. But let's see what they do. Let's see comparatively how we done using Wonderkids and a tiny budget of £10 million, Moneyball and hidden regens against £100 million, going out there and just signing players we wanted to sign because they looked good, and see what the results say. Now we have to start off with the £100 million side and our signing of Aymar, who was brilliant. He ended up scoring 10 goals and grabbing 14 assists in 42 games and still looks like a bit of a bargain at £23 million. And I think the same can be said for what a great signing Wilfred Gnonto is on FM. Of course, he is expensive at 28 million, but as that quick striker, is really one of the best on the game, especially for someone that isn't that expensive. He scored 22 goals this season in 40 games, and I say isn't that expensive. Again, we're going to show you what a £2 million striker can do in this video, but for £23.5 million, in real life, if you said to someone they were going to spend that and score 20 goals in the Premier League, as a United fan, I'd bite your hand off right now to get a 20 goal in the Premier League striker, especially for that sort of price. Maybe Liam Delap is that guy. But here on FM, we certainly take that. He's only grabbed a 6.78 average rating, didn't get a single assist throughout the entire season, which is very strange for someone with such good dribbling and technique, passing, pace. You'd expect him to get more, but goal scoring wise, he was an absolute demon. Moving on to the slightly less impactful players, we have Jean Lucas as a DM. I say impactful in the fact that he didn't go and score 20 goals, but he did get 9 goal contributions and a 6.91 average rating. Again, a very good cheap signing of £6 million. There's a £100 million segment. It's meant to be me going out and signing the best players we can. And to keep it under £100 million, we had to sign some bargains. And Jean Lucas was one of them at £6 million. To be fair, really good signing. And the same goes for Ignace van der Bremt as well. Again, this guy was the same price as the whole team we built last time, with the whole transfer window we had last time out. 12 goal contribution to 7.02. Another signing which, if you're not making an FM for £8.75 million, which I believe is his release clause in day one of FM. If you're not signing him, go and do yourself a favour. If you've not signed him yet, he's a really fun right back to use. And it is a really talented player. And finally, we have Jared Branthwaite, 40 games, 5 goals, 2 assists, a 6.88 average rating, and a really good player. Again, on FM, he is heavily rated. A £21.5 million signing is expensive, but really, really good. And because he has that 18 jumping reach and 16 heading, he'll score you some goals and is very, very talented. But how did that team do over the course of the season, you ask? Well, pretty damn well. I'm very happy with that. 8th place after finishing 17th the season before. Europa Conference League football, 17 wins, 6 draws, 15 losses, a 15 goal difference and 57 points. 9 points away from Spurs, but a 22-point improvement. In terms of goals scored, 77, which is brilliant. And in terms of conceded, a few too many. Not in the top 8, sadly. But a goal scoring side, finishing in the European places, 8th place, exactly sort of where I envisioned this team coming, between 55 and 65. Maybe slightly on the lower end than what I expected, especially given we spent £100 million. Makes me think maybe we're not going to do quite as well with the £10 million. We'll have to see. But overall, a very decent window. Aymar and Brian Buemo, top of the assist markings. Yellow cards, we're all there. Of course we are. Goal scorers not quite there. Average rating not quite there. Oh, actually, Willie Donto, second in goal scorers. Very, very impressive. And overall, the £100 million team has done quite well. That sets the barrier and the marker of where the £10 million team needs to get to. And I think we should be aiming for that. 57 points, in my opinion, is more than achievable. And let me show you exactly how we done. Now, the whole point in this video was for me to show you don't need £100 million to build a winning side, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you here. The free agent signing of Håkan Haraldsson was absolutely fantastic. He wasn't the only one, but he was certainly the standout on that free agent deal. Quite simply, if you're not looking at free agents on FM24, what are you doing? Because we have found this guy here, 22 goal contributions, a 7.17 average rating, and was absolutely outrageous this season. Again, free contract, 7.16. Now, he might be a little bit of an anomaly, someone that doesn't usually come up as a free contract, but the free agent market is somewhere you have to constantly be looking for, because as you get further into FM, obviously this is now 6 seasons in, the free agents get wilder and wilder, especially players that have been to Saudi Arabia. Their contract never gets renewed. And I don't know why that is, to be honest, but if you've got that sort of player, like a Milinkovic-Savic or a Gabri Vega is one that always gets released, comes straight into the Premier League and is unbelievable. Haraldsson from Lille, dominated in the French football for 4 seasons. We picked up on a free, and he was absolutely game-breaking. Now, while he was by far the best signing we made this season, he wasn't the only top-tier player, as Tize was also fantastic. This guy cost us just £200,000 and was playing semi-professional football in Ivory Coast. He is now worth £24 million, has just grabbed a 6.79 average rating, 7 goal contributions, and has progressed into a much more well-rounded player. If we check out this guy's progress from the very start of this rebuild, given it has been just 12 months, we have got some decent progression in physicals, good progression in mentals and in technical stats. Cost us just £200,000. He is consistent and it's performed at basically the same level as John Lucas. Now I know John Lucas was just an £8 million signing, but for 200k, an 18-year-old, you've got your own little story here and someone to really put some time and effort into making them a top tier DM, and you've done that by just using a bit of a different scouting method, and I think it's a really fun story and an absolute bargain signing as well. And of course, how could we forget our £2 million signing, Roman Yankov. He was the definition of a fox in the box, making up for mistakes and being an all-round menace to pretty much every team in the Premier League. Now, Brian Mbeumo scored 22 goals this season, compared to Yankov, who scored just 10 and got 4 assists. So, a clear difference, £23.5 million, £2 million, half as many goals, but again, is a story, is someone to grow, and is a £2 million signing who performs at a very good level. He is very consistent. He is 5'10" and a little bit slow. I said that was my minor worry with him. And again, I hope in this video you're not taking the players at face value, more the scouting methods and how we used them to sign the players we signed. I would have ideally had a much better centre-back than we signed in this for £2 million, and a striker which was slightly quicker. But with what we found, in a very random season I plucked out from the middle of my Reading save, we found Roman Yankov. £2 million, performed at a very good level, and the other two as well were absolutely brilliant. Our right-back signing of just £3.2 million, Roneo, was very good. 5 assists, 2 goals, a 6.81 average rating. And Pavle Vagic, 1 goal, 2 assists, a 6.76. I was quite worried about how this guy would perform in the Premier League, but once again showing that surrounded by some better players, you don't have to spend £100 million every time to build a top-tier side. You can compete with a very cheap team. And this season, we done more than just compete. We actually ended up getting to a cup final where we faced up against Manchester City. And of course, Hakon Haraldsson got us off to a fantastic start in just 5 minutes. City are going to bounce back. Caicedo on the ball. Down the left-hand side finds Doku to find Haaland in the middle. Maybe could have been a bit better defending there, but overall, not the end of the world, because we are going to win this game and secure a trophy for the £10 million team as Lewis Potter beats his man and finds the back of the net. By the way, absolutely fantastic player for us this season, Keen Lewis Potter. He ended up grabbing a grand total of 17 goals and 14 assists in 40 games. I've never seen him do this well. I mean, maybe he was a big reason why we were so good this season, because we also finished much better than the £100 million side. 71 points, 22 wins, 5 draws, 11 losses, 6th place. We finished a grand total of 14 points better off than the £100 million team and doubled our points tally +1 for when the season just gone when they finished in 17th place. Remember, all we spent was £8.25 actually million and rebuilt Brentford into a Europa League and trophy winning side. We scored 70 goals, so a few less than the other side, which means we conceded just 50 goals overall, just outside the top 8. But overall, an incredible showing, and just showing again the scouting methods of finding wonder kids more long-term, Europe, South America, North America, Africa, Asia, Oceania, using the Moneyball filters that I've created, using the hidden gem filters that I've created, and looking at contracts expiring throughout the 6-month period from January to June, can build you just as good, if not a better team than £100 million. I bet you didn't expect that when you initially clicked onto this video, the results to be as good as that. I hope you do have a lot of tips coming out of this video, and if you did, make sure you are liking the video and subscribing to the channel because it helps me out massively. And I hope I helped you guys out massively, and I'll speak to you next time.